I'd like to welcome the Minister to the House for the first time. I think it's an important recognition of the crisis facing renters that you're present here today. And I'll be supporting this bill, but I hope the Minister and I want the Minister to listen very closely to what I have to say. We'll support any bill that protects renters. I think it's regrettable that only in unprecedented uncertainty that we're seeing proper protections being introduced. I know many people in this city and beyond who are in rental accommodation and have felt uncertainty for very many years. This legislation is welcome, but we think it doesn't go far enough. If we're all in agreement that renters need protection, especially now, why should we limit this protection to 7 weeks? So we need more than this, and renters need more than this. The government's national framework for living with COVID-19 states that we could be living with the virus well into 2021, and I personally think that's a certainty. So why did we not seize the opportunity and draw up an all-encompassing bill that actually protects renters and avoids this nonsense of going in and out of emergency periods? Introduce a ban on evictions, or support the proposal that we have today that gives people certainty and peace of mind, because the old way is out the window. And it's not like landlords won't have protections either. They'll have protections in terms of antisocial behaviour or illegal activity, and you're also pausing the Part 4 piece as well. So this isn't just a one-way street. If there was no COVID-19, there would still definitely be a rental crisis. Rents continue to rise, albeit at a slower rate than previous years. The latest Daft.ie rent report for Q3 of this year showed the average rent now across the state is €1,412, while in Dublin the average rent was now €2,030. This represents an annual increase of 1% and 0.2% on Q3 in 2019. You've talked some time about your record here today. Only a few weeks ago, I think a very regressive bill, the Residential Tenancies and Valuation Bill, was introduced, and I think it only adds to the problem. Threshold have confirmed that they're now dealing with a significant increase in cases and queries regarding evictions as a result, and we've seen illegal evictions in this city. Today we have yet another piece of legislation drawn up by hard-working officials that goes in the right direction but does not go far enough. For our part, Sinn Féin will keep calling for a freeze on rents and a reduction in rents, a ban on evictions, addressing latent defects in housing, and continually pushing for more social and affordable housing. We want renters, many of whom spend half of their salary on an asset they'll never own, to have security and dignity and freedom, and it's achievable. If you agreed to many of our housing bills in the past, this could have been done without you having to lift a finger. If the COVID-19 pandemic is the reasoning behind this piece of emergency legislation, then I must mention your rejection and that of Fine Gael and the Green Party of legislation last night that would have banned co-living. Co-living is the worst possible type of accommodation to live in under the threat of COVID-19. It's accepted that we may live with this virus for well into next year. There may well be co-living developments completed by then with people living in them. Have you told NEFIT or the HSE that they can expect hundreds of people sharing kitchens and bathroom facilities next year? Have you looked at other major cities that have experimented with co-living? The amendment that I want to primarily focus on today that Sinn Féin will be putting forward is to extend the ban on evictions to 6 months, well beyond the January date when the current financial protections run out. And on a side note, January, why is January a terrible month? Is it because we've eaten chocolate for all of Christmas? Is it because the weather is rubbish? No, it's because people have no money in their pockets. I wonder, do you put yourself in the shoes of renters when introducing these type of protections? So we're supporting the call by the Simon community to bring in this amendment of 6-month ban on evictions. We're happy to see many other parties and groupings supporting it. Perhaps the Green Party will explain to us how refusing to support a 6-month ban on evictions fulfils their election promises of looking after renters. Over the last few days, we've heard the HSE and the government ask for understanding from the public as they sought to press the reset button on the contact tracing system. The Minister should know that Ireland is in dire need of a reset for the rental market. We see the 6-month ban as primarily helping those people renting to give them certainty and relieve some of the worry and anxiety. The 6-month period would also give plenty of time for us to consider how we can give certainty and respite to hard-pressed renters. One of our amendments seeks to include those people who rent rooms on an ad hoc or informal basis, and it's been mentioned by Senator Siri Carney and Senator Malcolm Byrne, and I hope you'll support Amendment 1 given your statements today. On a procedural note, this is the second bill in the House today where senators have had to submit amendments to legislation before the legislation was finished in the Dáil. It's completely unacceptable. So I'm supporting this bill, but it doesn't go far enough, and we'll indicate that through amendments. We should address the crisis once and for all instead of periodically introducing holding legislation that always seems to aim to do the least amount possible.
Thank you. Senator